Welcome to LaRocque Life Podcast, where we talk about relationships, adventure, freedom, and just some all-around real and raw conversations. I'm Mike LaRocque. Got my lovely wife Laura with me.
Hey.
What are we talking about today, honey?
We are going to talk tonight quickly on how to give your man his manhood back.
Nice.
Is that what I called it before?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So this stems from obviously my own experience, but I told Mike I have a story to tell a little bit because this was dating back. I was just trying to think. I think it was like 3-ish years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago.
Okay.
When you were kind of depressed and going through your time.
Kind of depressed. Yeah, that's fair. 100% fair.
And I was like not sure what to do, right? But I think
Yeah.
this was before you were like openly admitting that you were kind of depressed. It was shortly after we'd moved back to Alberta after
Right.
living in BC, because I think Lennox was like 6 to 8 months. I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter. But this was like quite a few years back. But I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine who's now one of my mentors as well. But we had a call and I was just saying that I felt stuck like in my business and in my life. And she was telling me, and I think it was really stuck in our relationship in a way as well, just because I was like, I feel so helpless. Like, I don't know what to do, but like, I need him to lead, right? Like I
Right.
need him to step up. But I'm using words now too that I probably didn't use then because I might not have been so familiar with that. I don't know. Anyways, I just remember that phrase where she was like, you need to give him his manhood back. And I was like, what does she even mean by that in the beginning? But over these last few years, I've seen exactly how it's played out. And then just this weekend, I was reminded of it with our experience of our paddleboard and learning to paddleboard
Yeah.
and all of that kind of stuff, right? But so it was almost like I had this kind of what is it called when
I don't know, it's like an epiphany or
yeah, maybe.
like reflecting back on it.
I was gonna say like reflection, but then it was like everything was tying together and
Just started
like,
clicking, right?
yeah, it just really made sense, which brought me back to that thing that she had said about giving him his manhood back. And I can just see it with so many women now, like with my clients over the last few years, and I see it within our relationship.
Yeah.
Where as women, if we're not really like tapped into our feminine, and feminine is all about like receiving and going with the flow. And there are moments in our life where we need to be in our masculine and we need to be in our feminine. In our jobs, careers, businesses, whatever that might be, there's often times where we're going to be in our masculine because that's the more motivated, driven, goal orientated, that type of characteristics
Right.
within
Like
ourselves.
hitting deadlines, doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
that we need to tap into. It's more like linear, like let's get to the end result, right?
Right.
But then in our relationship, we need to have a polarity. And if you and I are both in our masculine, then we're not going to have like a sexual polarity, that desire, that passion
Yeah.
that most couples want in their relationship, right?
Well, it's what you see in the book. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, in order for that to happen, most women okay. So I need to explain this a little bit better. It's such a complex conversation.
Oh yeah, there's no one. Yeah, 100%.
No, but also like if someone's just listening to this fresh, they're like, what is she even talking about? But we all have feminine and masculine energies within us. Most men will identify as being more core masculine,
Right.
and most women will identify as being more core feminine, meaning that if I'm more core feminine, I still have my masculinity and you still have your femininity as well.
Yep.
But whenever I'm explaining it, I always just use women as more core feminine and men as more core masculine, just for like ease of explanation.
Simplicity. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And so to most women then in today's society, a lot of us are living, unless we're more conscious of it, in our more masculine characteristics, in our more masculine energy. It's a society thing. It's, kind of evolution. I can go into that another time. I actually have a masterclass I'm working on that's going to explain all of this. But unless we're more conscious of it, we won't be able to tap into our femininity. So you see a lot more of this stuff going on these days where people are talking about femininity.
Yeah.
But to actually like bring it into a real life example, that's what I wanted to share about from this weekend. So we just bought a paddleboard. Why don't you explain that part of it? I'm totally being the masculine right now by being like, you do this.
You know. No, I don't know. It's just, what is it? Like we got into our kayaks. Everyone knows the kayak story that we talk about all the time. And then this is just kind of born out of necessity because we can't, shouldn't say we can't, but we never brought our kayaks with us. So they're still in our garage back home, and just felt that need to get back on the water. We had to do something. And looking around, and like, especially around here in Kamloops, it's crazy how many people paddleboard. I mean, I guess it's probably everywhere. We just haven't really noticed it. And
well, we haven't been to as many lakes as we've
no,
been to.
man, in the last what, like
3 weeks or something?
I know we haven't been in a lake that many times for years. But so yeah, and it's like this one's inflatable, and I was always kind of on the fence about inflatable stuff. It's like, well, this is kind of hokey, but these inflatable paddle boards are just crazy, like how rigid they are and how hard they are to pump up. It takes a bit of work to pump them up, but I mean, yeah, so it was great. It's awesome. So we did a little bit of research on it, and typical Mike style, I just fucking jumped in and found one, and like, okay, we're buying it, got it. And then this was the first weekend, we fired it up.
Yeah, because we bought it last weekend, but then it was raining all weekend.
Right.
So we did pump it up in the living room, but yesterday was the first day we actually got to take it out, and then again today. Yeah.
So it's been awesome. And I mean, staying with the whole independent self-taught thing, like didn't have a clue on how to do it, but watched a few YouTube videos and nailed it down. But yeah, so it's been exciting. Like it was an awesome weekend of just learning that. Being out on the water again, like being out in the middle of the water, being with Lennox on it, just getting comfortable and trying something new. It was awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So in that, neither of us have ever paddleboarded before.
Nope.
I mean, it looks like it should just be easy. And I'm not saying it's not, but you just think like, oh, you just hop up on this thing and go, right?
Yeah, stand up on the water and off you go.
That's how I felt until we got to the lake yesterday. And then as soon as we got there, I was like, okay, now I'm a little bit nervous because it probably is harder than I'm expecting it to be. Or like, I don't know. I had to work through all my own thoughts and feelings because I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot on the water and like fall in. But
no, that's fair.
I mean, I was telling myself, but who cares?
Like, yeah, no, I had those exact same feelings. Like, I wish I had a sign like, this is our very first time, give us a break. But everyone, like, you're setting it off on the beach and everyone's kind of watching you. And like, ours is, it's quite nice, right? So it's kind of flashy colors and like looks cool and shit like that. So, yeah, it just drew attention. So everyone's kind of watching and it's like, fuck, this is the very first time I've ever even tried to get on this thing. So let's see how this goes.
But isn't it funny how your mind does that? And like, really, who cares?
It couldn't have been in the corner being like, you got this, don't be a pussy. Instead, it's just like, don't look like an idiot. You're going to fall. Is it even worth it? And like all those feelings, right?
Yeah. But you do it anyway.
But we do it anyways.
And that's like, doesn't that make you feel alive?
Oh, 100%. It's just those voices get drowned out a lot easier now than they used to. I mean, you still have that voice telling you, you know, don't do it and it's not worth it. But then the voice of get on, this is going to be fun. And like the payoff's going to be so much more is way louder now in my head than the negatives. 100%.
Yeah. So tapping into my story about, going back to the feminine and masculine in business, I might be more masculine, even though I do tend to be more feminine. I do probably need to be more masculine and get shit done more.
It's a trait. That's a fucking fine line that you got to walk with that one.
But yeah, because my business is based on creativity, but I mean, I got to follow through and get things done.
Yeah.
Stay motivated. But at the same time, okay, so then in our relationship, though, we're always now in the last few years, especially in the last 6 months, I would say.
Yeah, probably 6 months. Yep.
Focusing a lot more on being in our opposites, like having that polarity in our relationship.
Just very conscious of it because you've been doing a ton of learning on it and a ton of teaching on it. And I'm learning along with you and you're teaching me things. And it's, just to be conscious of it and catch ourselves and yeah, like I say, just being very, very aware of where we're at, or myself anyway. I catch myself being aware of where I'm at.
Yeah, and what's I think really nice, I'll come back to the paddleboarding story in a second, but I want to touch on this. What's really nice about this is that we can be very open about, our energies. And it's like, I can just openly express to you what makes me feel more attracted to you when you do a certain thing, right? Or are excited about something in your life or different things. Like I can express to you now very openly what I'm excited about.
It is, and it's tough to get there, right? And I mean, that's what we work with couples on and work with individuals on, but you don't just step into it. I know you mentioned this before, but you can't just, at least on one side, you can't just get into those conversations and hope for the best, whereas it's not going to be reciprocated, man or woman. Like typically it's the man that'll shut down, but I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes the guy will be like wanting to get in there with the conversation and she'll be like, why are you doing this? Right.
Yeah. Or to even like point something out. We know that it comes from a place of respect now because we've been talking about it long enough. But like, I could say something to you that you could take the wrong way. And you did. For example, like when you were at the kind of more towards the end of your depression, right? I was trying to lovingly tell you that.
Just nudge me in the right direction.
I just really want you to be excited about something. And you were like, but it's stressful, blah, blah, blah. blah
I know
like
I had every excuse in the book not to do that.
And I was just like, okay.
Looking back, it's like, you dummy. Like, yeah.
But you had to be where you had to be. But it was just like you took offense to me saying that to you. But my like purpose behind sharing it was just that like I like it when you're excited about something. You have to have something you're excited about in your life aside from your shitty, the way you're feeling shitty about work or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you took offense to it, like as if I thought you weren't doing enough, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, 100%. It's hard, and you have to have those open conversations and really get your point across on where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And put all those feelings where you're coming from forward too, instead of just saying it out loud, because that's typically what a guy will do, right? Is trying to fix a situation or do something and just get the answer out, even though.
Get the end result.
Yeah, and it's coming from love, but you have to explain that, not just.
Yeah.
But.
Whereas too, when I was saying that to you, like my true feelings, then I couldn't have said because I knew that you weren't in that place, but it now, was like, I need you to figure your shit out and get excited about something in life because I need you.
Well, you need a man, right?
I need a man, and I am like falling out of love, and I see other people, right? And I'm just like, I want that passion in my relationship again, right? And I was a bit scared because I was like, where are we going? Like, what's going to happen? But I couldn't say that to you in that moment because you were very much in it. And I was aware enough to know that. So I just was like, how can I lovingly tell him that I need him to have something that really lights him up and excites him? But then it backfired on me. So I only say this to like tell you it doesn't always go as planned, but it also takes a lot of practice, right? And growth together. And it's a dance. Sometimes it's like a good step. Sometimes it's a bad step, but
catch your toes every now and then.
Step on your boot.
Yeah. Scuffing my Pumas.
But anyways, okay. So where were we at here? We were talking about being able to share. Oh, yeah. But I did want to say this, too, that we now, too, sometimes say things like sarcastically. But again, we both know, I know in the past it would have triggered us to just like stay in our own shit and then be mad for the rest of the day. But you made me think of it when you said about the paddle board being hard to pump up because I said, you were like, I don't even remember what you said.
No, you're like, we or some fucking thing.
No, I think it happened before that. There was a few comments towards pumping up the paddleboard today because Mike expressed earlier that it's hard to pump it up because it's like that pump where you have to like stand above it and just like
for fucking like 12 minutes,
down. And he told me that it's hard to pump up or something, and I was just like, oh yeah, that's sexy. Super sarcastically because I was like, I'm picturing you to be like this hot buff man who can like
pump for hours.
Yeah, pump for hours.
Anyway, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
But right, and then so we were kind of like laughing about that, and then there was obviously tons of
innuendos.
Yeah, about the pumping up the board today. But again, that was something that I don't really recommend saying to your partner about their masculinity.
Cuts deep.
Unless you both know that you're joking.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? And because masculinity and feminine is like a super popular topic in our house, right? And we're always like testing things out or telling each other what we like or what doesn't work or what's,
Oh, totally, yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
We're growing with it. So anyways, okay. Back to the whole point of this, which is give your man his manhood, because a wounded feminine as well, just like wants to control everything and wants to people please and is used to like taking charge. And that could be a mixture between wounded feminine, but also in your masculine as well, just like taking charge, getting shit done.
Right.
And there's a time and a place for that. But if you want to have a very passionate, desirable, sexual relationship,
You need it 100%. You need that
then
for
you
sexual.
need to let that go so you can create that polarity, and you need to tap into your feminine if you're the more feminine one in the relationship and allow him to tap more into his masculinity. So when she said, give him back his manhood, what she really should have just said to me is stop being a controlling bitch and just let him lead the way.
Right.
That's what she should have said.
That's fair.
And that's probably what I would tell my clients. That's probably what I do tell my clients now. Maybe not quite as rudely as that, because it's not rudely, but I do definitely do some tough love. But okay, so with the paddleboard this weekend, I was like, you said, do you want to go first? Do you want to try it out? Like just being nice, right? Because, we're both excited about it. But I was like, no, you try first. And partially I was lazy and really exhausted and just wanted to like you take Lennox so I could just lay on the beach and read my book.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely.
But also what was on the forefront of my mind was, no, I want you to go out and figure it out. It's like we're pioneers, right? And you're the man, you're leading, like you go figure it out and then you can teach me. And that's in my head. So I'm going to tell you what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
I didn't tell Mike this necessarily, but I was like, he's going to feel good, like going out and doing something new and like facing his fears and feeling, on the edge of whatever, which is what the masculine lights up.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you questions and I'm going to like get you to teach me. It's win-win really for me, because then I don't have to go out and figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Get to let you do it first. But what I was thinking was in relationship that I get to like let you be my man. I get to surrender to you and just be like, teach me, honey.
Yeah.
Right. And then like look at you with like loving eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, like when you're on the board, I'm like, oh, like you're doing it. That's awesome. Like it looks really good. And then I can't wait for you to teach me.
Right.
And then let you teach me. Right. Instead of being like, no, I think it should be done this way. Or no,
that's huge.
I've seen that it should be done this way, kind of, right? But I was just like, what do I do next? Okay. And then, I didn't stand on it the whole time. I just knelt because I still was, we went to like the choppiest lake
today. Fuck, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I just was like, I want you to teach me. I want you to be my man.
Right.
And so that's like, it's such a simple story, but it's like these little things that happen every moment of your relationship that you have the opportunity to kind of just let your man be the man. You don't have to control everything. And I know some women are thinking, yeah, but what if he's not the man? Like, what if he doesn't step up and be the man? And you are the one who's always like doing the controlling and not so much the controlling, but the organizing and the planning and all of that kind of stuff. My suggestion would be, it's obviously I like case by case, and I would have a more personalized or individualized answer for you. But at the same time, I think just picking up on all of these little things and starting to have micro moments throughout your day where you can give something to him, like give him the power back, give him his manhood back. It might not be something that he's even conscious enough in the moment of it happening. But I think, again, the micro moments is the important part, where it's like you're stepping back and you're creating that space for him to be able to step up. Because if this has been going on for so many years,
no, you're just definitely 100% just conditioning them to start making those decisions, right?
Yeah.
Just little ones, and then work your way up.
Yeah.
It's true, 100% true. And even when you told me that today, that, we should talk about this, I completely realized that, I completely fucked that up. Like, do you want to go first? Which is fair. And I was asking just because, like, we're both jacked about it. And it's like, oh, typically, like, if you get whatever, right, you want to try it first. Like, not you, but just if I get something new, I want to try it first. So it's like common courtesy. But I never thought of it as I'm basically passing off the leadership, or I'm passing off the decision making, which is terrible. Like, I should have just jumped on it and do it. But again, that you see that everywhere, and especially in relationships, and it's fucking boner killer, right? Like,
Boner killer.
or I guess it's not even. It fucking tightens up the panties more, I suppose you should say. Because carry on.
Okay, stop.
Just please stop. But no, like even like how we do, like it's supposed to do a date night once a month, or like once a week, or once a month, or however you do it in a relationship. It sucks, right? Like most men are just like, okay, well, where do you want to go?
And
What
you
do you want to
organize
do?
it.
Yeah.
Get the babysitter.
Like, what do you want to do? Like, what movie you want to watch? It's like, well, fuck. Like,
I heard you have
real
to make all
fun,
the decisions
yeah.
with the kids. Like,
yeah, like a woman just wants to, as much as even if she's in her masculine, she wants to make those decisions. Deep down, she wants you to fucking make those calls and lead the fucking dance, right? And again, it's just try it on a date night. Do that. Just be like, hey, get ready. Well, not like be nice about it, but I mean, get dressed. We're gonna head out at 7, and she'll just lap that up, and it's like, okay, where are we going? That's your excitement for the day. Like you don't know where we're going, right? And like, what movie do you want to watch? Like, obviously, don't fucking take her to Rambo or something unless that's her deal. But yeah, like don't just ask all these stupid little questions, and it just turns into you're the one controlling everything again.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I get that. And then when you said that, I was like, fucking bonehead. But it's baby steps. I'm learning. But no, it's funny too when you explained all that. I was like, you fucker, you got me.
You didn't know.
Yeah, manipulator.
No,
I know. I tried. It's not. It is like you're just giving me my power back, right? And I again do the same, right? Like, just take charge, and I do when I consciously think about it. I'm like, Kate, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and not make you do any decision making on those. Just be your man and do this, right? And just to know that you're protected, and know that our son's taken care of, and that we're taken care of, and things like that. But no, 100%. Once you see it, you realize like, shit, you just got to take charge and be that man. And again, like there's times like don't fucking buy a house without you knowing, hey, this is our place now. But I mean, just do the little common things that you don't have to deal with those little decisions to make all the time. And I could even revert this back to work, where it's like, if I got my foreman or I got my guys to do things, like, fuck, dude, like you make enough money that you got to make these decisions. I can't make every single fucking decision. And I'm sure that's how most women feel in their relationships.
Yeah.
It's like, where are we going to take the kid? What are we going to eat tonight? What are we going to do this? What are we doing this? And it's like, it's not all up to you.
Yeah. She wants you to take some leadership.
Yeah. And like most men, like myself, you just feel like, okay, I'm working hard. I've got my job, and like, I'll provide for us. And then that's it, right? Like I did my job, but no, it doesn't end there. There's a lot more to fucking do that you have to take charge of.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, so on that, yeah, you have your job. She has, whether it's her day job or if she's home with the kids, that's her job, right? And so she is going to be more in her masculine in moments of that, because she's...
Yep, that's what she has to do, right?
Yeah. But then it's almost like our relationship together is a different job.
Yep.
Right. So you do have a role in that job, and that role is to lead. And I don't mean this like, this is not for abusive relationships. No, it's not the man being the controller. Like, we totally mean in a healthy manner of like what we just talked about, making the choices, and not every single choice, but like just start. If you're a man listening to this, just start like with that date night. Like just say, hey, I'm taking you out on Friday night at 7.
Yeah, and that's a safe one, right? It's not like you're gonna it's not gonna cause like huge rifts. If nothing else, like you'll be excited, and
yeah, she might be like, "What? You've never done this?"
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, where'd this come from? But you do it a few times, and it's you're there, man.
And extra brownie points for the man is if you've already found someone to take care of the kids. Someone your wife is gonna like.
Yeah, if you got a go-to babysitter, not like us. Like, hey, just move. I found this person on Kijiji. It should pan out.
She's not gonna want to go out with you Friday at 7. But yeah, if you've already organized the mom or the mother-in-law or the aunt or the uncle or the go-to babysitter, I mean, that's extra brownie points. But even if it's like, hey, we're going on a date Friday at 7, what do you need me to do to help organize the kids? Like, you could position it that way too, right? So again, it's not all on her.
Right.
And then take her on a freaking date, and just don't ask her even what she wants to do. Just take her and just play with it, play with things. Right. Or even like take charge for supper one night, tell her to go have a bath. Like, this isn't like I made a post the other day and I said my view on like SM, which was social media. But I jokingly
You had the
said,
end in there?
yeah, I said jokingly, like, not to be mistaken with S and M.
Right.
But that's how I feel sometimes when talking about this in that manner of what we just said, like taking control and telling her it's not like that. Not like
No,
that at
and
all.
there's a little bit of there's a fine line, right? It definitely is, but that's the roles and that's what it's always been, and we just fucking evolve so fast, or the environment around us evolves so fast, and we haven't still, right? So talk about it all the time that we're just still fucking tribal people that have our jobs or have our instincts and our DNA are wired to have those. The man protects, the man hunts, the man provides, the woman takes care of the kids, like keeps that tribe. They're they're the gatherers. They help people. They love, they nurture, right? So we're not caught up to that, or we're not caught up to our current environment. So we're still in that mindset, and I feel like that's where myself personally anyway can say that's where a lot of my depression and stuff came from. I just wasn't feeling that. I wasn't hitting those things that needed to be hit, right? So I mean, that is what it is, but
Yeah. I want to say two things before we cap this off. One being that I feel have, I mean, aside from obviously going through depression, I feel like a large chunk of you already did lead. And it's in, again, these micro moments that we're talking about, but like, no matter where we have slept ever since we've began sleeping together.
that's fair, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. But you, like, if we go somewhere new, like in a hotel or any new house we move into, or anytime we travel through Europe, you always would walk into the bedroom, look at the bed, kind of assess the situation and say, I'm sleeping here. And at first I was kind of like, just thought that maybe you were super picky.
You fucking weirdo.
Where you slept. But when I actually learned why you did that, it was because you always slept closer to the door.
Yeah.
And that was to protect me. Even though you sleep like a log and you wouldn't hear shit.
I'd have to take that first gunshot or the stab wound just to wake me up. But yeah.
But just that thought is there, and that's your instinct, right? Like,
Yeah,
no,
100%.
I'm at the door. I'm the protector. And so I just wanted to point that out because I think that, you know, sometimes we don't always give ourselves enough credit, but you totally instinctually already do that.
I had no idea where that came from either. Even when I told you the rationalization of it, I didn't even know. I realized I was really doing it myself. I don't know where that fucking came from. I definitely didn't learn it from, or I don't think I did. Anyone I know.
Yeah.
No idea.
You,
but
right?
I guess, that's back to the DNA, and that's back to protecting. And,
yeah. So it's just funny because we think like protection might be, you know, my family's housed, fed, warm. What more do they need? But they do need more on an emotional level. And that is that protection, that leadership, that safety, right? Because also when the feminine feels safe, like I know for sure when I feel safe.
Yeah, fuck, you can get creative, eh?
I can do anything.
Yeah.
But the moment, like if you've ever made a comment like, oh, we don't have money for that. And you don't say that often, but like sometimes it's just it's not even the fact that we do or we don't. It's just simply the word of it. And of course there could be triggers within me from my own like belief system that right away I like tighten up.
Yeah.
But the more I learned about the feminine and masculine as well is that like, yeah, if you say something about money or any form lack or scarcity, let's say, if I hear it come from you, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, we're not safe. The bears are coming for us, right? Like,
well, it's true. That's just like business. That's like hearing it from your fucking like CFO, right? Like, oh, we should probably take care of things. And then you start looking like, fuck, where are we? Like, what are we doing? So I get that. Like,
yeah. And I can't even give you like a specific example. It's just random comments. And it could be something you're not even like consciously aware of what you said, but right away I'm like, oh my God, I'm not safe. And I feel myself move from being like flowy and creative, which is where I make money, which is where I help us in those exact situations that I'm feeling suddenly scared about. But just in survival mode, I'm suddenly like, no, I must like start taking action in like a more motivated, purposeful, maybe those aren't the right words because I
No,
am
but
that in my feminine, but I mean like
no, but you're
very
trying,
linear,
right?
and I need
Yeah.
to start becoming like, yeah,
And then the
very
harder you try,
masculine.
the worse it gets, right?
Yeah, and then I'm just like forcing things to happen, and then they're not happening, and it's silly. So I have to. It just actually happened the other day. Couldn't even tell you what you said, but there was something that was said, and I was just like, "We're not safe." But then I could coach myself through that and be like, "You are safe." I think I had to do some inner child work in there as well.
That's fair.
And then to finally be like, "Yeah, okay." It's safe. Stay in your feminine, stay in your creativity. It's okay. And so there is like a lot of self-talk that happens in this as well, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one last thing I just wanted to ask you before we jump off is in that story of the paddleboarding,
Yeah.
you just said like you never even really thought about that or whatever, but how did it make you feel? Or even though I know in a masculine you're more so thinking, but what did you take from that in me letting you doing that? Like, did you feel or think anything differently, or did you even notice?
Well, no, after you explained it, it made tons of sense. But
But even in the moment before I explained.
no, but in the moment, it felt good. Like I should be doing that. Like that's what I have to do. Like you be the man, you lead. It's like fucking, I don't know. I always equate being scared of the basement when I was a kid. So like that's like sending you downstairs to the basement first to go get something without the lights on or something like that. And like, what the fuck am I doing? Like being a pussy. So in hindsight though, it felt great. And I was proud as a peacock, not for that, but just in the sense of like, holy shit, I actually like got this paddleboarding thing kind of sorted out in a hurry, which again, it's not like I'm fucking saving babies. So it's not like it's real hard, but if anyone knows me, like in London, I had to take fucking private swimming lessons just to learn how to swim because I never knew how to swim. I never learned when I was a kid, right?
Guy.
So I love water. I love it. I live for it and love being on a boat and all that stuff, but I've just never learned how to swim. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
Couldn't really explain it. And like not scared of water, not anything like that. I just never learned how to swim. I was a fat fucker too. So it didn't help either, being the fat kid with the fucking big t-shirt on. Not a lot of buoyancy there. Fat's supposed to float, but it didn't. So I'm sure something played in with that too. But I mean, just having the guts to get out there and paddleboard with like fucking, and then getting Lennox on there, and that's a whole nother story, and we'll talk about that another day. But fuck, that feel good. And like having conversations with him out on the lake, and he just got his little feet in the water, and like, oh man, it's special, very special out there. But yeah, no, I felt awesome. And it was such a great weekend between both lakes that we went to, and completely different experiences. Like yesterday was nice and calm and easy, and then today was like a beautiful lake. It was supposed to be the one where we fucking take a bunch of pictures because this thing was like aqua and blue and green and just awesome. It's supposed to be like glass, but no, when we go there and fucking down this goat trail for, I don't know,
16 kilometers.
Yeah, which took like an hour to get down because there's like, potholes everywhere. But it was rough as shit. Like, and every person we talked to, they're like, it's never this rough. This is crazy. But when we go, it is. And still being able to ride through that and stand up in there and have Lennox on it. And it just, it was awesome. It's small things, but it made me feel very powerful. And even now, like, again, I was having troubles with work the last couple of weeks, but that really turned itself around too. And just things are starting to align. But again, myself, I'm starting to do things like I stopped doing things that made me feel good. So then I was starting to regress a lot back, and then caught myself in good talking with you too, or lots of talks, and starting to get back into that feeling masculine, feeling just being the man again. And that equates a lot to you because you're smart enough and you realize in your little fucking tricks that you got now to give me back my manhood. And it works, man. And it goes all the way around. It makes my career a lot better. It makes my personal life better. Relationship with Lennox, like fucking tenfold. And I'm sure he picks up a lot of our energy because like the last couple of weeks, he's been a lot calmer. He's been even just sleeping better. He's a lot more grounded, and I think he senses that a lot with us, right? So it works so much better for everything. Makes your life easier because you got a fucking man again, like a man in your life, right? And it just makes me feel better, and it's only going to help creativity on both sides of us. So no, it's special. It really is. And it sounds all airy fairy and whatever else, but it fucking works, man. Like being like going to work, doing my thing, but coming home, sitting on the couch, just being pissed off and anxious about the next day doesn't do anything
No.
at all, right? So
No.
it sucks. And we'll talk about those too. And I got a lot to talk about with that. So if anyone has any comments on that, we can have a whole series of podcasts just on that kind of shit. But there's a lot of emotions with it too. It's crazy.
But that's also like a part of your empowered masculine, then you're allowing your empowered feminine as well, right? Because a lot of people think like, oh, so, and this is a good thing to probably add on here quick, that to be the leader in the relationship and to be the man doesn't mean that you're just like the hard ass who's like, bitch, get in the truck, we're going, right? Like, it's like,
it's your birthday, you can have a Coke tonight.
it's like being very vulnerable with your feelings and open as well. But then also like that motivated,
it's crazy,
goal-driven, purposeful protector, right?
It is.
But
it's a very fine line.
A hard ass, which I feel like most men have had to hide their emotions since childhood because you're taught boys don't cry, like don't be a girl, don't cry. And so men grow up with that, and then they're just like they're struggling all around because they don't even know how to share their emotions. But when we're talking about this masculinity, we talked about this in one of our podcasts like quite a while ago about like the ideal man, right? Is that like very empowered masculine who is goal-driven, orientated, vision. Holy cow, I can't even talk anymore. You guys know what I mean. I've said it so many times tonight. But also is tuned into his empowered feminine, and he can express himself. He's in tune with his emotions and is able to be vulnerable. And you have always said that for quite a while. You're like, you want to talk about guns and tattoos and motorbikes? I can do that. But you want to talk about love and feelings? I can do that too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like look at my Friday night, fucking 3 hours floating in a pool, getting like treatments done on weird fucking sound baths with sound bowls and like Watsu treatments. And like, it was fucking nuts. So I can do all that. And then, all the way 180, like you said. You want to talk about guns, you want to talk about anything, or you want to go shooting, you want to watch the fights, you want to do whatever, right?
Well, and actually, so
we're dragging on, nobody.
I know, but one more thing. Because that was the thing that happened on Friday night where you totally were just like, in your healing phase and being with your emotions and all your things. And then it was Saturday, wasn't it? That, we were at the store and that older man was just like chewing out that woman working at the store about a king size
duvet or something
that he bought.
That was at Yisk,
Yeah, and he was rude and loud, and he was maybe in his 60s or something, and Mike was like, should I say something? Like, you wanted to just, like, go protect that girl, and I was like, no, like, just don't cause a scene. Like, just let them sort it out. Like, that guy's
fucking got some problems,
Yeah, I was like, could you imagine being married to him? And we did see his wife walk out with him later. And
she was fucking must have been hiding because
she probably ran to the back of the store.
She was not around when that was happening. Yeah.
No, but that right there, right? I think like that's just like a really great example because it's like just on Friday night you were like totally in tune with your emotions.
Oh, fucking in a sound bath in a saltwater pool, so it's to equate like a womb, right? Like you've been there too, but it's like you're back in the womb and there's like sound bowls going on and there's she's doing the treatment on you and she's like moving you around and rolling you like you're going through the birth canal and it's like, holy fuck, what's happening? In a good way though, it was awesome. But but
then on Saturday you were like, he can't talk to her like that. Like, how great of a man does he feel like right now because he's talking to like a woman in her 30s like that? Like,
well, that's working at Yisk, like, and it's like he's talking to the president of fucking Yisk or something. She's like, dude, I'm here making a paycheck.
And
man.
like she's like, I'll return it for you. Like it wasn't even a problem.
No, it wasn't like she was fighting back. She's like, yeah, I'll take it back.
Yeah,
like,
he was just so mad that why
and
would you
fucking
say
being
this?
a cool guy holding his phone like, yo, this is going on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
and
he was recording
like, come on,
it.
buddy.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that was sort of totally a side note, but still, like, just that guy was not in his empowered masculine because he was definitely not respectful and in tune with his emotions as well.
To a fucking woman, real cool, buddy.
That's what you had said, right? Like, if he wants to have that conversation, like, take it outside with a dude, right?
Or
like,
something. I don't know.
Man to man.
Yeah, like, come on.
Like, you're such a big, powerful dude, like, tearing down a young girl.
Yeah.
But Anyways, okay. So yeah, I hope that all of this mumble jumble makes sense.
To be fair, just a disclaimer, we have had a lot of sun the last couple days, so none of this is really tying together. I don't know if you can see it or not, but my legs are peeling.
Yeah,
Um,
that's from like 2 weeks
that's
ago.
from 2 weeks
And
ago.
then we added more sun this weekend.
Yeah,
But
so, but no, it's been awesome. It's been a time, and like I say, just in the past couple weeks, I've felt a lot of growth. I've felt a lot of like I hit another level, right? And had to was feeling great and got beat down a little bit, but now feeling back. So it's just keep stepping up and
yeah. And so if you guys want to learn more about this stuff, like make sure you tell us because then we can share more about it. We can share more real life examples as well. Cause I know one of my friends said like, I love the feminine and masculine, but it's all like really confusing. But I love when you share real life examples
Yeah.
because it makes it more tangible and something that I can incorporate in my life. So
Mhm.
let us know, please. And we will
Yes.
talk about it more. I actually do, like I said, kind of drop that in there in the middle there. I am recreating my masterclass I did back last winter. And so we'll forward you guys that or direct you to where you can watch that when that time comes. But it's really helpful in explaining a lot of it.
Yeah.
And we also have some stuff coming out on communication and how women and men, most feminine and masculine, communicate differently. And so that's coming. And that's a lot of what I work with my women on is basically teaching them all my tricks. And when you said that it was manipulating, I'm like, no, it's not
No, that's
manipulating.
a terrible word to say. Yeah.
And I know you're joking, but I want to really just touch on that because I did say that to my client one time. I was like, this isn't about playing games and it's not about manipulation. This is just about you being the way shower of your relationship, like the change maker. You know something different. So go put it into action and go play with it and be the person who changes that step to the dance of your relationship. Your partner's either going to have to stop dancing with you totally because they don't want to learn the new steps, or they're going to start like shifting and learning from you. So
Yeah.
it only takes one person in a relationship to start creating that shift. And that's what it's all about. That's what my Reignited Relationships service is all about with the one-to-one coaching with me and really helping women tap into their femininity
Right.
and into their bodies. So
That's a great way to sum it up. Well, that's awesome. Where can people find you?
LaRocque.com. All my social tags are there. Let's leave it at that. That's simple. Or go to LaRocque Life, Instagram, Facebook.
No, that's perfect. Okay. Well, that's great. I love you.
I love you too.
I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.